maybe Mr. Daniel, you can speak on the public misconduct of law.
I see.
Because it's something new. Economics is something new in Malaysia. So what is it all about?
Well, I think basically talking about the offence of misconduct in public office, which is a common law offence. It is not new. It's been there for quite a number of years. In fact, it's a sort of old type of offence, criminal offence, for people holding the office in the public. I think the meaning of this offence, the coverage of this offence is pretty wide. It actually governs the conduct of public officials or anyone given an office in the public. Now, our mandate in the past, and still now, is to investigate corruption. Now, in the public sector context, the offence of corruption, I must admit, is not easy to prove. And to do that, you have to go through several hurdles in gathering the proper evidence that can be adduced in court for prosecution. Sometimes you can prove, you may be able to prove some elements, but not all of them. Now, these elements that you could prove may not eventually amount to a successful conviction or prosecution in court. But these elements may be just sufficient to prove the misconduct of that public official you are after. So now, on balance, I think corruption itself is a misconduct, but falling short of proving certain elements there, you may still be able to prove a misconduct offence. Now, it depends on the circumstances. This is a good alternative for going after the corrupt in terms of prosecution.
Can you give an example of such example of cases where this?
Now, okay. Now, say for example, law enforcement officer. Now, if he is involved with undesirable elements, say triads or mafia, and he's engaged himself with those undesirable characters to become involved in crime. However, he's not positively, directly involved in that. Now, we all know that his involvement has got a corrupt motive behind that. But you may not be able to prove any corrupt transaction between law enforcement officer and the mafia gang. Now, but you can prove his association with these undesirable characters. You may be able to prove a little bit of his involvement in criminal activities, but not sufficient enough for the prosecution of a specific criminal offence. Now, but the bits and pieces of evidence you've got on that law enforcement officers may depend, again, on the strength of evidence, may be sufficient for the consideration of a misconduct in public office charge. Now, have I explained that clearly?
Yeah. How about is it practical for politicians? Meaning that if politicians, let's say for example, they have like relatives, let's say they are in charge of what? A ministry. So and then they have relatives doing business with the ministries.
Now, my immediate response to that is yes, but the case you've cited is so general that sometimes people may just argue that is sharp business practice as opposed to misconduct on the part of that public official. It all depends. Now, a much higher threshold for proving a corruption offence, but still there is a threshold for proving the misconduct offence.